Let's get into it. So hopefully everyone can hear and see me loud and clear. So I appreciate you all jumping on. This is something that we're going to do every single week, every Wednesday or Thursday going forward, is just some form of education, just some form of kind of content for you guys to come in, to be able to learn, to be able to kind of get yourselves to a point with this where, you know, you're taking yourselves to that next level. Because ultimately with inside, you know, the training markets, you want to get to a point where, let me just turn this off so there's no waiting room. There we go. So everyone should be able to come in now. So we want to get to a point where you guys are learning and, you know, you're getting to a point where you're getting your knowledge up on the kind of education side of things. So what I'm going to do real quick before we dive into everything, this is something that I want all of you, you know, to get access to, because what typically happens with inside of trading, it's everyone has the same kind of conversations, everyone has the same questions, everyone has, you know, the same kind of niggles at the beginning of their journey. So what I'm going to do is just kind of screen share with you real quick somewhere that we've created that's going to make things super, super simple for you. This might be the first time you've seen it. It might not be, but this is a, you know, community that I've created on Skool that myself, James, and Curran will be adding a lot of information to on here. So what you'll be able to see here is, obviously, we've got Traders Kingdom FX. I'll pop the link in the chat right now so that everyone here can get access to that. But this, again, is a Skool community where we're going to give everyone the education that you guys need from a complete beginner all the way through. So we've got the welcome, we've got the watch me first, step by step, or the common questions to ask. So like when you guys are asking things about demo, how much money should I start with? Coming to terms with the loss of a trade, you know, how to set up MetaTrader 4, all of the basics of it are in here, how to take partials, how to modify your trade. Just do me a favor right now. If you think that that'll be beneficial to you and you think that this is going to be some information here that you're going to learn, just drop us a one in the chat. And what I also would like going forward is if any of you feel comfortable sharing things with me on what you're struggling with, I can come into here and I can create content around this. So we've got the resources in here. You know, we've got a full section that we're doing, you know, Trading the Zone, the book, the trading journal. Then we've got all the recordings are in here. So when people say to me, Bradley, where's the Zoom recordings? They're in here, right? So we're going to literally put, you know, the layering training we did in here, how to set up Skool, how to take a trade, everything like that is there. So again, you can come and watch this to your heart's content. There's no one kind of, you know, doing everything there for you. And a lot of trading is you getting out of your own way and following the instructions, following the guidance, following the steps. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they're not willing to do that, or they're not willing to let go of their ego to an extent to get to that point where they can win. And that's kind of something that I want to touch on tonight's training, on tonight's, you know, call, if you will, is just to get you guys to a point where you're comfortable to do this. Because like out of that there, 9 people took action. Fantastic. You know, I can go in and approve every single person now. Amazing stuff, yada, yada, yada. You're all in. Great, great, great. You know, some of you might want to do this afterwards. I completely get that. But, you know, what I want to do now is get to this where you guys are learning, you're growing with us. So what I'm going to talk about real quick is just the longevity of this game. And you guys might see myself, James and Curran that have been doing this for 7 years. And yes, we're making great money. We're making, you know, multiple 6 figures off of this, but it takes time. You know, you can't come into this with a kind of microwave mindset that we have in every area of our life. And if we take this and we have that longevity, you know, we look at how our account is growing, protecting our capital. A lot of people, and it was like this in my previous businesses that I built, a lot of you, unfortunately, won't be here in 6 months' time, right? And I'm going to say this how it is, and it's going to hurt some of you. Some of you are going to, you know, get a little bit butthurt by this, but it's the same churn, right? People can't follow instructions. They can't follow the guidance. They can't follow the system. 6 to 12 months time, completely new set of people. 6 to 12 months time, completely new set of people. So all your goal is with inside the community, from my personal opinion, is can you be here in 6 months time? If you're happy to stick this out and have that consistency and you're willing, you know, to be the person who eats the shit, who takes the losses, who manages their emotions, because the vast majority of people lose in trading because they can't manage this, right? Their bank account reflects how they trade. They have no discipline with how they spend money. Their income is very, very sporadic. They don't have a good income. So what they do there is they fuck up over here when it comes to trading, because they want that home run. They want the hit where it's going to take 500 to £1 million. It's not going to happen. And if you come in with that home run mentality every single time, you're going to lose. And that's why traders who have steady growth, steady continuous growth, they're just going base to base, tap the ball, run, tap the ball, run. Because some of you haven't even got shoes on yet, and you're trying to do a 100-meter sprint and you're not getting anywhere. So for me, the biggest thing with this is managing that mindset and understanding that in 6 months' time, can your account balance, and again, I'd love to know your honest opinion on this. If in 6 months' time, your account had gone from 1,000 to 3,000, would you be happy? Would you be genuinely happy in 6 months if your account went from 1K to 3K? Type a yes or a no in the chat. And again, this is private, so no one can see this. Only I can see it. But be honest with yourselves. The vast majority of you that are typing yes right now, you're liars. You're lying. You'd be pissed off if in 6 months' time, only you've grown from $1,000 to $3,000. Most of you wouldn't be happy. Why? Because you're trading with a $500 account. You're trading with a $500 mindset. You're trading with a $1,000 mindset. Whereas I know if you can be here 7 years from now, right, with a trading account, that 500 quid account can go to 200, 300, 400K, 500K, 600K. And the vast majority of people cannot comprehend that. So what they do is they trade at 0.01. They have a win. 0.02, they have a win. They get a little bit ballsy, a little bit confident. They get a little bit, cocksure. Oh, fuck it. We've been on a winning streak. I'll trade at 0.1. We win again. 0.2, we win again. 0.5, we win again. Right? Then what happens is your head's that big. You've won every trade. We've smashed it this week, right? We have 2 losses back to back. Some of you have messaged me this week saying you fucked your account. Excuse my French. That blows my brain. That just shows to me that you're not going to be here in 6 months' time, because you cannot be disciplined enough to have consistent growth, step by step, step by step, step by step. And this is why the most disciplined traders in this game, make their growth. They have that consistency. Like if we look at a percentage growth calculator, right? This is something that's, again, I've talked about this in the sessions that we have, in the kind of the let's have a look at it on here. I'm going to show this on here, to be fair. Daily compound interest, right? Okay, here we go. Daily compound interest. If you guys can understand this, and again, this might be super Barry basic to some of you, but the reason that I lead with mindset. I lead with this type of stuff because most of you aren't disciplined. And you're having that mentality of home run, home run, home run, home run. But if you look at this here, right? I want you guys to type in the chat what your account balances are right now. Again, only I can see this. But share with me what your account balances are. 500, 800, 1,250, 1,700, 11,000, 16,200, 4,000, 4,000, 6,200, 3K, 700, 690. Okay, I'm going to go just with an average of 1,000, right? If you can get 1% a day for a year, and every single month, right, we're going to do Monday to Friday because that's all we do. But every month, you guys just feel comfortable putting another 150 in. You cut out, and again, I'm going to share with you what I did. I cut out Starbucks, I cut out Costa, I cut out all the bullshit in my life that I was spending money on, that was going into someone else's pocket, and I put it into my own bank. This is me, right? This was me when I first started this. So if we understand that starting from next week, the Monday, if we do that for 1 year, that £1,000 with 1% daily interest, that's 5% a week. We calculate that. Day one, sorry, if we go to daily on this, actually, most of you aren't going to be happy with this. You're not going to be happy with 1160, 1172. You're not. This is why you over leverage, you gamble, and you end up trying to get down to the bottom of here too quickly. Some of you are trying to get £200 a day on a £500 account. It's not going to happen. But I guarantee if I said to you, listen, you've just put a grand in, at the end of the year, you're going to have 22K. Don't do anything other than following the steps. How many of you would stick around for a year from a grand? Be honest in the chat. Be honest. Right? You all would. And if you wouldn't, you're a moron. Right? You wouldn't go anywhere. You wouldn't do anything different. You wouldn't change anything. And if the answer to that is no, then you're in the wrong group and you're a gimp. Right? I'll be honest. And this is me, again, just full transparency and full honesty, because there's a reason why the churn rate is so high in Forex. There's a reason why the brokers make trillions and trillions from it, because the vast majority of you can stick it out and you try and get home run, home run, home run. So when it comes to trading, when it comes to understanding the markets, when it comes to understanding that, that's going to take you time. Look at walking. You had to crawl first, then walk. Then you understood that you couldn't speak properly to begin with. It took time. You had to go learn the alphabet. Whereas if I said, in fact, that's another, if I said to some of you in here right now, go do me the alphabet, some of you are getting zeros and O's mixed up, putting in your MT4. So that's another school lesson. I can see some of you laughing on here because that's you. I've just done 36 people this week who were getting zeros and O's mixed up. Like zeros and O's. Like, again, this is the basics. So when it comes to this game, if you guys can have the consistency, the longevity, you can be here and you're not blowing up the inbox. Because when some of you are winning, you don't share your results. Some of you lose £3.26. That's a very specific number because I had it today. Some of you lose £3.26 across 2 trades. And you fucking blow my phone out. I had 17 messages of one of you. I'm not sure if you're on here, but I'm going to look. Right? 17 messages because we had 2 losses. You lost £3. You spent more than that on a fucking Costa today. Right? So some of you need to have the discipline, the longevity, the growth. When it comes to this game, like, we know what we're doing. There's a reason that the accounts are growing like this. For those who are following the system, for those who are having the understanding, 17 messages, yeah, it's insane, right? So I'm going to jump into something real quick, and I'm just going to share with you, you know, a little bit trading view. And again, I don't expect anyone to understand this. I don't expect any of you to start doing this yet. But what I want to share with you is a little bit about layering from a visual perspective on how I interpret it, right? So when I understand, you know, how the markets work and all of that type of stuff, this is something for me that we just do over and over again. So let me jump into a screen share again, and I'll go as slowly as I can, but also don't forget this call is recorded, so you can go put me in 0.5 speed, you can put me on rewind, you can pause it, you can do this, you can do that, but I'll jump into a screen share real quick for you. So let's go off of this. So this is TradingView. You don't need to use this if you're just copying and pasting trades. It's not something that you need to do, but understanding how the market works in this game is very, very crucial. So you're going to see levels, and I've done this on the training, but you're going to see levels that are kind of respected as we're going through. You know, you're going to see certain points that get hit over and over again. This is very simply just called support and resistance. So support is like the support of a foundation of a house. The resistance is also known as like the roof, if you will. So if we just come on here and we understand that there's levels that the market breaks, right? So how we trade is very, very simple. Today is not the day that I'm going to cover that. But if we understand that the market goes up, down, we're looking for the market at points where it pulls back a little bit or it breaks structure. Structure might be here, it might be here, it might be here, it might be here, or it could be here. So once we understand that, that's what we're looking for. This is what we call a trend. So this here would be a downtrend. So you'd see the market move down, pulls back, move down, pulls back, move down. So whenever the market has a huge push down like this, that is where the banks, the governments, the hedge funds, that's where they're pumping money in. But you have to remember that probably prior to this point, this market was coming up. So the market will have been getting bought, then all of a sudden sells. We saw it today on gold, right? We saw it today. Let me turn off trading. we saw it today with this. We saw the market earlier on today absolutely dump, right? We got hit by stop loss because the market was respecting these areas, and so on. So as we understand this and as we see that happening over and over again, that's all we're looking for when it comes to trading. So we need to identify whether in downtrends or whether we're in an uptrend. So the more that we get used to seeing this, we might see the market do this, but then when it comes back down, now this is what we call a change of trend, because this part here is being respected and this part here is being respected. So now the market's going to push up. We're now in an uptrend. So just write in the chat whether we're expecting the market to come down at this point or continue to go up. What would you recommend? Again, just write in the chat, down or up. Okay. So you guys, it's 50-50 in here. So here, what you're going to see is, yes, potentially it could keep going up, but the market will have to pull back to give us a new low, right? And then this bit here, this bit now becomes a new low. This bit here becomes a new high. So now this is our trading range. We're looking for entries and exits in between here. So once we understand this, the market will then push again. So at this point, we've now got a new low and a new potential high. So once we see that, we can get used to seeing new low, new high, new low, new high. So anything else that happens in between this range here is just noise. So what we're looking for is the market to push above, go higher, push above, go higher, push below, go lower. So as we see this over and over again, what we're looking for here. So let's just use this as an example, okay? Let's just say the market has broken this zone here, right? The market needs to create a new high. So if this one here pushes to here, we might then, and this is just hypothetically, just so you guys can see on the chart sometimes, we might indicate a buy. Because the market, and this is where I'm going to talk about layering real quick. This is where we then might indicate a buy because this zone here has been broken, right? Just as an example. Don't hold us to this. This is just my way of your brain understanding this. We might then put a stop loss down here, okay? So the stop loss is going to be at the low because if price comes below here, it's going to potentially go to the opposite side like it did here, right? So it's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. If price comes below here, that's why we have stop losses in place to protect your capital. Drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense right now, okay? We might have our targets up to these previous highs. Up here might be where we're aiming the market to go. So let's say the market, because it breaks these highs, what will happen here? And again, this might be going a little bit technical, but what will happen is, we remember you guys, we talked about again, if you've just joined, the community, you might not know this yet, but we've got buy limit, we've got sell limit, we've got buy stop, and we've got sell stop, right? So when this triggers here, what you're going to typically see is a lot of these are going to get activated. You're going to see the buy stop get activated. And again, if you don't know what a buy stop is right now, go watch the education. It's all explained in there. But then what will happen is you might see the trade all of a sudden just start to do this. And you're thinking, shit, I'm going in drawdown. My account's going into negative. My trade's going into red. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen that. The moment that you place a trade, it goes down. And you start panicking, you start worrying, you start thinking, shit, what's going to happen? Am I going to lose money? Am I going to blow my account because I'm over leveraging? Yada, yada, yada. But you've still got structure in place. This is why understanding structure is key. Up, down, up, down, up. So it still needs to come down to an extent here. If it's going to continue going down, it's going to do its own thing anyway. But this here gives us a great potential to add more trades in and layer into the trade. So down here, you're going to see, where is it on here? Yada, 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 da, da, da. Where is it? I always forget where this one is. Long position, right? So let's say we've just entered a trade there, just for easy numbers. And we're expecting the trade to go somewhere up here with take profit 1, take profit 2, and take profit 3. Okay? That there's a 1-to-1, nice and simple. But when the trade then comes down a bit more, it gives you the ability then to add a potential another trade. Why do I always forget where this? Oh, there it is. So let's say you could now add another trade there, same stop loss, and your trade is still at take profit 1. This is now a 2 to 4.3. So for every 1% you're risking, you're going to get 2.43%. Let's say this pulls down a little bit further. Obviously, for me, I have a certain threshold that I'm looking for. But I don't go when it starts to get towards stop loss. I have a cutoff point anyway for me personally. But again, let's say now we'll just use this. So we've now got 2 trades on. So we're layered into the trade. Now it might have come down even further. So we can add another trade on and still have take profit 1. That's now a 5 to 1 nearly. Does that make sense? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. This is layering. So what happens here is when this trade starts to push back up, this trade's instantly in profit. Boom. This trade into profit. Now, let's say trade gets back at entry. You've now got 2 profitable trades that you can bank, that you can take profit on, or you move your stop loss above entry. You move your stop loss above entry. So if this trade, for whatever reason, decides to continue to the floor, you only lose 1 trade. Does that make sense? Again, drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. If it's not, please don't just feel like a sheep in this. You can say 2. If this doesn't make sense, you can say 2. Okay. But understanding this is key, because if this trade doesn't do that and it continues up to take profit, this is where, for me, having apps like this is insane. Because let's say we have take profit 2 there, right? Just nice and steady. Okay. So we have take profit 2 there. If it drops the stop loss, guess what? We lose us money. It is what it is. You shouldn't be over leveraging. You shouldn't be over risking. So it is what it is. We hit stop losses. It's the financial markets. We're not going to win 100% of the time. But let's say, right, this is a little bit advanced. Yes, you're correct. But the reason that I'm doing this is because a lot of people ask the same questions. But basically you wouldn't know when to not buy and when to not sell. I get that. So for us, this is where I'm going to educate you on this, but then we'll also do a little bit, more basic stuff in a second, because this for me is just understanding layering. If you're brand new to this right now and you've never placed a trade before, this is your trade. Take 1 trade, it either wins or it loses. If you get a little bit more confidence and you start building, you start growing, you start doing anything like that, like you want to go to the point where you're risking, for me personally, anyone who says 1% risk, it's not realistic. I personally risk 3% a trade. So if I was entering 3 times, it'd be 3%, 3%, 3%. Does that make sense? So I'd be risking 9% if all of this went wrong. I'm okay with that. Some of you might want to do 1%. If you're brand new to this, personally, you should be trading at 0.01. Okay. Every trade should be 0.01 if you're new. If you're more experienced and you want to go a little bit further into it, fantastic. But this is where understanding when this trade is happening, let's say the market's absolutely flying, like we had all-time highs on gold, right? This is where then you can adjust your take profit to take profit 2. So you can go into your trade, you can double click into where it says take profit, and you can literally edit that number from 2.670. You can go in there, delete that, and put that to 2721.447, right? You can go in and do that. Now you've got a trade up here, but you can also adjust your stop loss into profit. Again, this is a little bit more advanced, but I'm just showing you how trading works, because sometimes some of you, what you're doing is you're trading 0.01 on the winners, but then the next trade, you'll try and double up. You'll try and over leverage. You'll try and gamble. You'll try and go for 0.05. You'll lose 3 trades. So you need that to then win 15 trades on 0.01. So as we go through this, you don't want to be greedy. You don't want to be gambling. Again, for you guys right now, don't worry about what time frame we trade on. All you need to do is, can I place a trade? Yes or no? Do I know how to come into here? And do I know how to follow the signals? Do I know how to follow, what we send out? Do I know how to place a trade? Do I know how to put my stop loss and take profit on? Because I'm telling you right now, if you know that, you're ahead of 90% of the people in trading. 90%. Like, look at them statistics. 90% of people don't know how to put stop losses on. They don't know how to take profit, and they don't know about pips and lot sizes, right? They don't know that. I've been in this game 7 years, coached 4,000 or 5,000 people on trading. They do not know that answer. So if we come into this game and we know them answers, like, again, come into here and you'll see it. But I've done trainings on this. 0.01 is 10 pence per move, not a penny. 0.10 is £1 per move, not 10 pence. You know, 1.00 is £10 per move. So if we see this right now, and again, I'm just going to do this again from a visual perspective. So let me go back to this one. Let's say we're about to buy and sell. Or in fact, we'll do a buy real quick on this. So if you see here on the right-hand side, the numbers that we have are 2731.88 in green, right? We have 2670.79 in red. So let's just put these there so you guys can see it. And then we have in black, we have 2701.33 in black, just so you guys can see this visually. So again, if this is making sense, I hope it is. If it's not, you might have to watch this, watch some of the education, yada, yada, yada. But if we enter this trade and you trade on a 0.01, let me make these numbers a little bit different, actually. 31. Let me put this at entry price 2700, and we'll put that at 2750.0, and we'll put the stop loss at 2. Trying to make it easy for my brain. Okay, that's easier, right? Fucking hell. Messed up my brain a little bit there. Okay. Let me just change these numbers real quick just so you guys can see them. So green is now 2710 because this is more realistic. Black is 27 bollocks. That's meant to be 05. And this is 2700. So when we understand this, I'm going to have to go and change this for my OCD brain a tiny little bit here. Okay. So this is now 50 pips either side. For those of you who don't understand what a pip is on gold, because we trade gold the most, you see 2700.10 or 00, sorry. If that went from 2701.00, that's 10 pips. So it might only look like 1 decimal point, but if it goes from 0 to 1, that is 10 pips. So if price moves up from here to there, from 0.5 to 0.6, that's 10 pips. If it went from there to 0.7, that's 20 pips. If it went to 0.8, that's 30 pips, 40 pips, 50 pips. So in this scenario here, from the right-hand side, we're going to risk 50 pips. We're going to gain 50 pips. Does that make sense? Drop a 1 in the chat. So we enter at 2705. If it went the wrong way, we're going to lose 50 pips because it's going to go down 5.0, if you will. Okay. If it goes the opposite way, it's going to go to 2710, which is 50 pips. So from a numbers perspective, again, currency conversions differentiate in this because we're trading against the US dollar. This is another thing I can't wait to train you guys on. But if this goes the right way, we're going to lose £5 or we're going to make £5. Again, give or take numbers. If it goes this way, we're going to give or take £50 versus £50. Give or take 50 pips is £500 or £500. So if it goes the right way, we're going to win. If it goes the wrong way, we're going to lose. That's why stop losses are key, so it don't blow your account, so you don't get fucked. But some of you are then saying, well, Bradley, I've made 50 pips at 0.01. Why am I only getting X? Let's look at this. Let's go to a currency converter. Right. We're going to trade pound. Oops, it is. We're in Portugal right now. So we're going to go to the United, what we call Great British Pound, right? It's not that great that anymore. Is it the British pound? Because it's not that great. Where are we? What's it under on here? Does anyone know? Am I being stupid? Can anyone see this? GBP. Hello? I'm going to have to go to the chart. It might be in a pound. Derp. Sterling, maybe? Pound? Pound sterling. There we go. Okay. So we're going to gain on this. So if you make 50 US dollars, it's going to be £37.95. For those of you who make £5, do you ever see it where it doesn't look where you've got 50 pips and it doesn't make it? It's because you're trading the United States dollar is the strong currency on this, right? The United States dollar. You know, we were trading pound against the New Zealand dollar the other day. So again, let's go to New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar. This is even worse. You make £5 on this, we only make £2.38 because it's a currency conversion. So again, this is why we predominantly trade gold, because it's one of the best converting currency pairs and it's one of the best to manage the trades. So when we're having price going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, this is why gold is such a great pair to trade, because if it goes up, you know, some of the moves we can see on here, you know, they're astronomical. If we see today, just alone, if we'd have got into this this morning, you know, and taken the whole trade down, what's that, from 2,400 down all the way to 0.4, that's 200 pips. And I know we didn't catch that move, but again, getting used to how this market moves, the ups and the downs, the highs, the lows, how we trade, you know. And if 1 pip is worth 10 pence and you see it go from this here, so let's say you see it go from, where are we going to, let's say it goes from 2705 and it goes to 2705.2, that's 2 pips. So again, you'll expect your trade to represent 20 cents or 20 pence. If it went from there to 0.8, that's 8 pips. If it went the opposite way to 0.4, that'd be 60 pips the wrong way. Does this make sense? So understanding the pips in gold, if we say we're 50 pips up, we're 20 pips up. So if it went from here, 2705 to 2707, that's 20 pips. So when we're say 20 pips up, you know, put your stop loss above entry, what that means is that this bit here gets deleted and our stop loss goes to here. Now a risk-free trade. So if this trade had pushed all the way up and then it come back down a little bit and then all the way through, we're not getting our stop loss tapped because we're now entering and changing the stop loss to above entry. Does that make sense? For those of you who are new and this is a little bit above your head, again, all of the education is done in here. I've talked about modifying trades, you know, your terminology, pips, transfers, deposits, trading your laptop. I'm about to put in compound growth. So that's why I did this video here, because I'm going to put a video in here about compound growth. I'm going to talk about withdrawing because I don't want you guys to become professional depositors, right? Setting up your broker. I'm going to do another video on that. So these are videos and things that you guys are asking for. So I can create content around this. I want you guys to have such a smooth and seamless process in this that you come into this and think, fucking hell, I can actually make money in this game. Because so many of you have come in and you've been burnt in other things, you've lost money, you've blown accounts. Like I'm the worst culprit for that. I took a £500 account to 46,000 and watched it go from 46k to about £1,700 in seconds because I closed all my fucking trades. Had I have waited 7 minutes for news to hit, I'd have made about 300k. Right? So this is where over leveraging, you do stupid shit. You gamble. I might as well have just chucked that money and just gone zip and just chucked it on red or black. It'd have been an easier option and I wouldn't have lost my shit. I had to go for drives every day, every morning, every evening. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. So I'm like, I've just lost a house deposit, 3 house deposits. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? At this time, I was living at my mum's. So can you imagine how even work? My mum would come over and ask me, do you want a crisp sandwich? I'm like, Mum, I don't want to eat. I've lost 46 grand. She's like, oh, you'll get it back. I'm like, no, I've actually lost money, 46 grand. Like, it's not a joke. Like, I don't want a fucking cheese and onion crisp sandwich. As much as I love them, I don't want to eat it right now. So this is what I'm saying to you guys, having that long-term mindset, the long-term vision of this, and not coming into this with, you know, a flip it mentality and a home run mentality. You know, if you can come into this and be like, right, I'm going to be here for the long run. I'm going to be here until. Like, that's my mindset. Whenever I do business, whenever I ever anything, ask anyone who knows me. My mindset is until I've made 100 grand, until I've made $1 million, until I'm on top of the comp plan, until I've brought in 10,000 people, until I have done this, I'm not fucking leaving, right? Whether you want to get in the, you know, the Jordan Belfort mentality of that, I'm not leaving. And that's where now I see so many people making the same mistakes, the same common mistakes. They're asking the same questions, right? Over and over again, over and over again. They're the same people who've had the Zoom link, the school link, 10 days, however long it's been. They're the same people I've done one-to-one calls for. They're the same people I've done group calls for, that have been on the trainings, that have watched the sessions, yet they're still making the same mistake over and over again, over and over again, because they're having that smash it mentality. If you can come into this and you can just grow steady Eddie, steady Eddie. That's why most of you hate the copier. I use hate as a strong word. It's not trading enough. My account's not gone from £500 to 64 million in 3 days. The last one I was in was doing 9 million trades a day. Good, look how it did you. I want this to be boring for you. Trading is boring. Once you understand how the markets work, the consistency of it, the growth of it, like I'm gonna share you this. I don't care. Where are we? So this, let me do a custom for this week, right? So what month are we in? 29th of August. So this week, is it 29th of August? So let me go from Monday, which was the 25th, okay? So this is this week, okay? Consistency. I don't change my lot sizes because I know what I'm doing. That's this week, okay? Just under 12K for the week. I've been traveling, been fucking horse riding. Tomorrow I'm going skydiving. The trades do what they want to do. I've got a couple of trades running right now that are about to smash stop loss. I might lose 4 grand. It's okay. But it's a percentage risk that I'm willing to take. It either wins, it loses. It wins, it loses. It wins, it loses. Yeah, I've hit stop losses this week. 100%. Fucking hell, I take the same trades as you, right? I take the same trades as you. Trust me on that. Like, I take the same trades as you that are running. I take the same ones. Like, I've got some gold ones running right now that are stinkers, right? But that's my own thing. Like, placing trades while I'm driving. Been in this game long enough that I know that I shouldn't be doing that. But I love it. But again, risk management. When I'm doing, I have a rule that if I trade while I'm driving, I have to do certain things, right? So again, discipline yourself. Understand the longevity game of this. Understand that, are you going to be here in 6 months' time? When we host events, are you going to be there? If we host retreats, are you going to be there? Because that's what's coming. I live in Marbella. That's my goal, is to start hosting retreats. So you guys can come over to places like that. We can do sick events. We can get yachts out. We can do all the nice stuff. I want you guys to have the long-term mindset that in this time next year, you can be coming out and doing fun shit, because money's not an option. It's not a worry. Trust me, when you're driving from wherever you are right now, dropping money on things and spending things, and I don't say this to ever impress people, it's not a worry. Buying things in 5-star hotels like we're in now, you know, spending 100, 200 euros on food isn't an issue, because you know you can make it back. But at the beginning, trust me, I wasn't paying my rent before all the shit was paid. I was investing in myself, then paying that stuff. So if you understand the mindset and the psychology behind those who are winning versus those who are losing, you've got a desperate mentality. I guarantee the same people on here right now who don't have money, you're the ones who are getting parking tickets, you're getting fines, you're getting flat tires, you're getting scratched cars, you're getting shit happening to you over and over again. And you're thinking, oh, what the fuck is going on? Why me? Why me? almost like a victim mentality. Whereas when you stop thinking like the vast majority of people and you remove that mindset barrier to money and you start talking about like, I'm winning, I'm growing, whether you're not. I have affirmations that say that I'm X, Y, Z, talking about certain things that I want. I read in the back of my diary the other day, something that I wrote down 12 months ago with a monthly income. I'm smashing that now. It's insane. So if you understand being here, having the consistency side of things, being here and present, most of you won't get it. You won't, right? You just will not understand it. And I'm going to give you this as a task to go watch, right? And I'm going to 100% guarantee that I reckon 5 out of 10 of you will do this. 5 out of the people on this call, 5 out of 100 will do it. But I want you to go onto YouTube and type in Bob Proctor paradigm shift. I want you to go and watch this video. I'm going to send a link in here, right? I'm going to send this link for you guys to go and watch. It's 54 minutes. That's how I know that most of you won't do it, right? So I was coached by Bob Proctor for 6 years before he passed away. This is why I know most of you will not do it. Because there's a reason why every year when we went to his events, whether it was in Dallas, Houston, the US, the UK, wherever it was, he teaches the same thing. Because he knows that this time next year, the same people won't be in the room. He coaches about the same things to do with paradigm shifts, mindset shifting, understanding how, your subconscious mind works. Most people do not and will not ever understand that. That's why they're in the same predicaments. That's why they don't shift out of their current reality. And that's why they can't fathom that people are making 100 grand a month by not leaving the house. Right? So once you understand that and you start playing the hero in your life versus a victim, that's why then you'll start to see the shift. The shit things will stop happening to you. Trust me. The fines, the this, the that, the other, it'll just stop. And all of a sudden you'll be like, I can hear now, right? So if you go through and you understand how the shifting of the paradigm works, go and start studying this stuff. This is stuff I'm going to start teaching on because it changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my income, my life, how I was 2017 to now. Trust me, it's different. And I'm not sitting here preaching and saying, going all biblical and spiritual and all stuff like that. But when you understand the laws of the universe and how they work, you can become the best version of anything, whatever you want. You just have to believe it first. And I'm going to leave you on this real quick before we go into it. That's why the word lie is in believe. Because to believe in yourself, you have to lie to yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it becomes a reality. Don't lie to your friends. Don't lie to your loved ones. Don't lie to people who you like, know, and trust. But lie to yourself every single day that the things that you have written down, you're going to achieve. There's a great scripture, if any of you are into religion, it says, write the vision, make it plain so he who sees can run. That is basically just visualization. It's having the things in front of you you want to see. So when you understand that, when you start to put all of the pieces into play and you start to play chess instead of checkers, eventually it gets to a point where it's like checkmate. And you have the results in front of you that you've once been writing down, that you've once been talking about. And that's why we bang on about, like, if you're winning, great. If you're losing, great. But it all starts and ends up here. There's people in here that are losing the same amount of times as you are, but they're still here, winning, still growing their accounts, still flying. And that's all I've got to say. So guys, hopefully you got some nuggets from this. Hopefully you got some value from it. Again, this will go in the school. And I know there's 102 people on here right now. And again, the vast majority of you will not have clicked the link. You're going to message me a little bit saying, Brad, what's the Zoom link? What's the community link? What's this link? What's that link? I'm going to do it here. I'm going to ping 64 times. Can't send it any more times, right? It's in the chat. Go click it, go join it, and start spreading up a little bit, right? I'm going to stop recording.